And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you guys are all okay. We've got a lot to go through in today's video. Of course, I didn't upload yesterday, apologies for that. So we've got quite a bit to go through in today's video to kind of catch up. But we've got some big news to discuss as Celtic have found a Matt O'Riley replacement if he was to leave. So we'll discuss who that guy is, but let's go back to the Matt O'Riley situation because this situation still remains unsolved. Of course, he's been heavily linked to a move to Brighton, as Brighton are currently selling their player Billy Gilmour to Napoli in the Serie A. So Brighton have identified Matt O'Riley as their top target to replace the outgoing Billy Gilmour. So the Celtic midfield is still locked into discussions with Brighton over a potential move that could see the Premier League side break the Scottish transfer record by offering more than £25 million. So despite the ongoing talks, a deal has yet to be agreed, leaving the Hoops support anxiously waiting for the verdict. Of course, if a deal were to be struck, we would expect things to move very quickly, but it appears we can rule out Matt lining up for Brighton on Saturday against Manchester United. So it doesn't look like the transfer will go through as quick as that. So of course, O'Riley's a pivotal player for Celtic. He got Player of the Year last year, Young Player of the Year, and Players Player of the Year. Obviously, he scored so many goals, got so many assists. Just overall, a brilliant player. And this situation just kind of remain unknown right now. The thing I hate about English football is that obviously Matt O'Riley, we're trying to ask £25 million for him, which I think is a very reasonable amount of money for the player that you're getting. And I've seen that recently. I think his name's Oliver Skip. He went to Leicester for £25 million. And he's not even half the player that Matt O'Riley is. I don't see where they get their valuations from in modern day football, just because he has a bit more Premier League experience. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. He's a very average Premier League player going for £25 million to Leicester. And, you know, teams are refusing to pay that for Matt O'Riley. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. But it's their loss if they don't pay the money, and because Celtic will stand firm in their stance and not want to accept anything less than £25 million. I still think that's a low amount of money for Matt O'Riley personally. But a little update as well. We spoke about a Polish player called Basiusk from LAFC. Again, Celtic are reportedly lining up an £8 million bid for him. He's not the player I want to discuss in today's video, but I'll give you an update on him because he scored again yesterday for LAFC. And he looks like a really good player overall, and I'm pretty keen to get him into the side, regardless if Matt O'Riley stays or goes, because I think he could do a good job for us regardless. £8 million, he can play as a centre forward just behind the striker, he can play as a midfielder as well, very versatile in those positions. I'll be very keen to get him in through the door. But the player that's emerged as a Matt O'Riley replacement is a young player called Mohamedou Diawara from Lyon in France. He's a 19-year-old midfielder, and Celtic have reportedly made an offer for him. He's an ex-PSG Academy graduate, and Nantes and Lens are also holding interest in the 19-year-old. So there's a lot of teams interested in this player. 19 years old, plays for Lyon in France. He actually appeared last weekend for 5 minutes against, for Lyon, against Rennes. And yeah, a lot of teams in France are interested in him, and reportedly Celtic are too. Now, look, this guy's got obviously a great load of potential. It doesn't mention there if it's going to be a loan deal or a buy deal. If it is a buy deal, that's a very good bit of business. I think a 19-year-old, I don't know a lot about this player, but he's played 12 times for Lyon, who are a massive French side, so he must be somewhat decent. Of course, he's still so young as well at 19. So he could be a good long-term replacement for Matt O'Riley. I'm not sure how good he is right now, but I'm sure his ceiling's pretty high. Of course, a former PSG Academy graduate as well, so they've got quite a prestige set up over there in Paris. Could be a very good player for us for the future. Only 19, he's got 4 years on Matt O'Riley in that sense as well. Of course, won't be as good as Matt O'Riley, but definitely could be a good long-term replacement for the Danish midfielder. So yeah, very interesting transfer saga, that one. Kind of came out of nowhere today. It's coming from loads of French media outlets. I'll take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not going to say it's a done deal or we're getting close to a done deal. I'm not even sure if Celtic actually have put a bid in for him. That's what the article says. But we have identified him as a long-term Matt O'Riley replacement. So it could be a good, interesting transfer to happen if it was to go through. 19, still so young. Of course, may not get into the first team straight away, but you expect him to be in around that setup, like he is with Lyon currently, getting minutes here and there. Of course, I wonder if Lyon will be willing to let him go on a transfer because, he's one of their younger talents that has very high promise and high ceiling of what he can achieve in football for them. So we'll see what happens with regards to that transfer. Now, I want to go back to the Polish midfielder again quickly because I just spoke about how he scored last night. Now, as I've done some more research on this guy after 2 days ago when I reported on the story initially, he doesn't seem like a like-for-like replacement to Matt O'Reilly. He seems like a completely different player, a bit more up the pitch, a bit more attacking-wise, centre forward as a number 10 rather than number 6, number 8, like O'Reilly, of course. I'm really interested in this player, this Polish guy from LAFC. I think he's a very big goal-scoring threat. He could do a good job for us behind the striker. I think regardless if O'Reilly stays or if he goes, he's definitely worth looking into more and potentially putting a bid in for him. £8 million is a lot of money. I think that might deter a few Celtic fans from maybe going after him because he's going to cost £8 million. He's a former Leeds United youngster as well. He used to play for Leeds United before he went to LAFC in the MLS. So he's got a bit of experience in the Premier League and in the Championship when he played for them. Of course, wasn't a main starter for Leeds. I don't think he even played that many games at all for them. But he was in around the setup, and he had a high promise, but they let him go. And now he's around £8 million, maybe sign him. So I'm very interested in this signing. I don't know if I would want to pay £8 million for him, but that's kind of modern day football now. You have to pay big fees for these players. So we'll see how this one advances in the next few days as well. As well as other things as well. Kyogo, we spoke about being interested from Manchester City. Reportedly, Celtic have put a £20 million asking price on his head. So if Man City want him as their backup striker to Erling Haaland, they'll have to pay £20 million for him. Now, I'd hate to see him leave. I'd hate to see Matt O'Reilly and Kyogo leave in the same transfer window. But £45 million in transfer fees is a lot, but of course you don't really back the board to replace those players efficiently. You expect them to kind of mess that up and spend the money in all the wrong ways. But yeah, Kyogo is reportedly, or the Celtic are reportedly demanding £20 million for Kyogo if they were to let him go. It'd be really interesting to see him in a Pep Guardiola system. Of course, I'd rather him stay at Celtic. He's a very key player for us, but it'd be quite an interesting scenario where you see Kyogo playing for Man City. But yeah, I'd rather keep hold of him. But £20 million is a lot of money for a 29-year-old striker. But, of course, he's more important than money because we probably wouldn't replace him efficiently enough. So, rather keep hold of him. Same with Matt O'Reilly as well, to be fair. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video. There's quite a lot to kind of go through, really. There's a lot of different stories happening. The main one, of course, is Diawara from Lyon as a Matt O'Reilly replacement. And, of course, the Bush from the Polish midfielder from MLS as well. He's a big one to talk about as well because he looks like a very good player. The more I've looked into him as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more Celtic content. So about a week left of the transfer window today, and there's a lot that needs to be done with Celtic. So we'll keep you up to date with all the latest Celtic news throughout the rest of this transfer window. So yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.